Very frustrating for us tonight, but it's not something that we did not anticipate. I don't care what their record was going into this game. We talked to our team and even showed our team clips, film of them going down to Arizona State and having every chance to beat Arizona State. Them going into Arizona having every chance to beat Arizona. Playing against UCLA, and those two games were on Arizona's turf, and they play at home against UCLA, had every chance to win the game. We talked about that. We knew that this team was very capable, and they would grind you and they would play defense, and I just think we came out and were lackluster defensively. They shoot 60% against us, and give them a lot of credit because they sliced us up. But we just took a step back. That wasn't the type of defense, level of defense that we've been playing, and it cost us.
Were those miscommunications when there's guys in the lane, or what were some of those that it just seemed like great in the lane?
Which one's in the lane? On the
Especially
pick and roll?
Yeah, Washburn and a lot of places slicing and cuts through the middle.
We just weren't determined enough early, and throughout parts of that game, we just weren't determined enough. We'll go back and look at the film, and we'll be embarrassed at times about our lack of coverage.
How surprising was this after the month you guys have had with us?
I don't know, I thought we'd handle it better than that. But the one thing, we always have 3 keys that'll give us a chance to be the best we can be. And the #1 key that we talked about for 2 or 3 days was come ready to play. Be ready to play. That's what we continue to talk about. That's why we show film. Make sure our guys understood what Utah was capable of doing. I think after our game against Colorado, I talked about Utah was one of the top defensive teams in our league. That's how they've been able to stay in these games.
Coach, you sound frustrated with the defense, but offensively, it just seems like you're having a tough time shooting the ball.
We had a tough time in 2 of the other 4 games,
Yeah.
but we defended. We don't ever tell our guys, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you making shots? What, they're not trying to miss shots. You can't control that all the time. We had open look after open look after open look. But we can control more how we guard. That's why I'm frustrated with that part of it.
Lorenzo, is that as good a job on CJ defending as any team's done?
They did a nice job on CJ. I would have to say he's pretty close to it. I think Brock Motum, 0 points first half against Washington State. The way they defend, it's a little bit like the way USC defended Tim Floyd a little bit. They just kind of face guard, try to take the guy, whoever. They seem to make a decision as to who they're going to allow to shoot the ball and who they're not. And it's been effective.
That it?
In the second half, you made your run with 3 reserves, Wilcox and Suggs. The reason for that lineup was what?
We needed energy. Yeah. And it was just, at points, it was just a substitution pattern. That's all. Guys get rest. One group began to click more defensively because they brought energy. And that was it.
Did you think that Injai was just maybe a bad matchup for Washburn because he's able to float some and get out on the perimeter?
No. He's just a good player. He's a good player. He scored 14 in the first half. And, one of those situations where if there's just no way we can guard him, he'd have 30. Aziz came back in the second half and decided he was going to really guard. It made a difference. Washburn's just good. He's had several double-doubles.
Lorenzo, over the years you've made mention of the team sometimes playing with the cool jackets on. Was tonight maybe a case of that?
I just know that tonight, for whatever reason, we didn't come out playing with that energy and that chip on our shoulder that we were playing with in the other 4 conference games. And give Utah a lot of credit. They were very deliberate offensively. They spaced you out well. They made sure they got good shots. They only turned the ball over 10 times. They had 18 assists to 10 turnovers. They did a really nice job offensively, but we kind of allowed them to set the tone early because we weren't moving our bodies and being as active as we should have early against that team.
On a night like this, do you let that speak for itself? They know what went on and what they didn't do, or do you have to reemphasize points right after game?
The lackluster effort or the mistakes?
Probably both,
The effort leads to the mistakes. Our guys right now, they're fully aware. Guys are fully aware. And one thing about this team, I know that this hurts with our team because we understand what just happened. We played against a team that we couldn't quite understand the effort that's required to beat this team. We mentioned before, we could play good and may not get this done. It'd be a close game. We said that before the game. To give them a lot of credit. They're scrappy. They're fighters.
Right, thanks everybody.